This video is brought to you by America First Insight. Help support the growing conservative movement by becoming a member today. And if you want to support this channel, you can also use the code REAL when becoming a member. Thank you and enjoy the video. So earlier today, President Trump had a meeting at the White House with the South African president, and I have to say that this was President Trump at his absolute peak. Now, for those that live under a rock and don't know what's going on, like, wait, well, why is he talking to the South African president? Why is he making a big deal about it? Well, in the last couple of years, there's been some very bad things happening in South Africa. Like, really bad. We're talking about a bunch of white people getting killed because they're white. Listen, there's plenty of videos out there you can look up. It's not pretty. It's awful what's happening. And President Trump in the last couple of weeks has been talking more about it. He's saying it's genocide. That's what he's saying now. He's saying that what's happening in South Africa is genocide. So he met with the South African president today to talk about what's happening in his country and say, dude, you got to put a stop to this. This is crazy. And Trump had a masterclass on how to deal with not just this bozo and his advisors, no, even the mainstream media. It was that good. He did everything correct during the meeting, and it started off kind of okay, like, you know, Trump's talking with the guy and nothing seems out of the ordinary, but then Trump starts talking about what's happening with white people in South Africa, and this is when the meeting got fascinating. This is when things got very interesting, and Trump absolutely went off on this guy. I mean, he kept talking about it. He said, hey, what's happening in South Africa is genocide. It's so bad that in the last couple of weeks, we've actually accepted many refugees from the country, which, funny enough, Democrats for years, they loved refugees. They said, yes, we need all the refugees we can from all across the world. But the millisecond we have refugees from South Africa, the Democrat Party suddenly hates these people. They're saying, no, we can't accept them. We cannot accept these refugees. And let's be honest here. It's because they're white. That's the only reason they're saying no to these refugees, which is insane. But that's the Democrat Party now. It was such a big stink a week ago or whatever. I mean, Democrats making such a big deal about it. It's like, really? So you're not against refugees from any other country, but the millisecond it's white people from South Africa, you're suddenly against migrants? You're against refugees? Gee, I wonder why. It is absolutely pathetic what they're trying to do, and they're not even hiding it. They're going in Senate committee hearings talking about how Marco Rubio and them are racist, and Marco Rubio dealt with these idiots perfectly. He was saying, I'm not the one making it about race. You're the one making a big deal about it being white people. And he's right. These people are getting targeted, harassed, or even worse, and they're claiming it's, oh, they're importing them because they're white. Your administration is racist. That's the state of the Democrat Party, and I'm glad that his administration, they've been taking this more seriously, and they've been more vocal about it. They're saying, this gotta stop. This insanity has to stop. And at the meeting, again, it started kind of normally, but then it started to build up. And Trump really began to go after this guy and talked about, hey, there's a lot of things happening here. Well, what's going on here? And, you know, he's kind of denying everything. He's deflecting. He's saying, nope, there's no problems here. Perfectly fine. There's no attacks on white people. But then Trump pulls out his Trump card, funny enough. And he has receipts. He has like a 5-minute video proving that everything he says is true. And the president of South Africa, he can't say anything. He's just watching his team, and they're kind of looking at it. Some of them are actually kind of laughing. It's crazy. You're laughing at this video that demonstrates that you have a big problem here? Really? Again, I can't show the video for obvious reasons, but the point is, they got exposed within 5 seconds of them saying nothing's wrong here. I mean, it is bad. And some of his advisors were kind of just like chuckling. They're like, oh, there's nothing wrong here. Really? So what's all that video from then? Is that just all AI generated? Is that fake? Of course not. They're denying what's actually going on in South Africa. It's disgusting. And Trump kept going after them. He kept hammering them constantly. He's saying, this is genocide. And of course, the mainstream media, They're calling it baseless claims. In fact, I think CNN, they said, Trump without evidence says there's a genocide in South Africa, when they literally had video evidence of very bad things happening. They're saying no, there's no video proof whatsoever. There was. And that's the mainstream media for you. They're lying, they're making stuff up. In fact, during the meeting, you had some bozo in the press interrupt them and ask Trump, hey, what's your thoughts on the jet from Qatar that you illegally got? You got a present from them. You can't make this up.
The Pentagon announced it would be accepting a Qatari jet to be used as Air Force One.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You know, you to get out of here. What does this have to do with the Qatari jet?
They're meeting with the president of South Africa, talking about atrocities, and the media is more worried about that stupid jet? And Trump went off. I think he kicked him out of the office. He's like, get out of here. You're interrupting the meeting for that crap? I don't care about some stupid jet. Get out of here. In fact, I think he called NBC News, like, awful, like a worthless outlet. It was hilarious. But he's not wrong. This is a big story, and you're going to ask about a jet? They're trying to stir up drama that's fake, instead of reporting the actual news. And when they do report it, they claim Trump's claims are baseless. There's no evidence of it, even though he showed videos proving that everything he said was true. I just can't get over that they're not even pretending. In fact, some are now making excuses like, oh, this is a grand conspiracy. It's a joke. Again, you don't have to say it's a genocide. That's one thing. That's what Trump calls it, okay? But that's one thing. You could say it's not a genocide. Fine, whatever. But to deny what Trump said and say it's a baseless conspiracy is bullshit. That is stupid. That's insane. But that's the media for you. It was very pathetic how the media handled this. They're not even trying to cover it even halfway fair. They're not even pretending. They're just saying, no, baseless conspiracy. No, it's a baseless conspiracy. It's a scam. But either way, during the meeting, the diplomats from South Africa, they tried to counter this. They had, like, I think 2 golfers show up to the White House from South Africa, and the president said, you know, we have these golfers from South Africa or whatever, and they're going to tell you everything's happening there. There's nothing wrong here. In fact, South Africa is a paradise. Well, within 5 seconds, it blew up in his face. As when the golfer said, hey, Trump, my dad's farmer friends are gone. They've been killed. Their farms are getting burnt. And the second he said that, you could just see the president's face just, like, change. Like, this smug attitude, like, oh, I'm right here. There's nothing wrong here. And he just has this look of defeat after he started talking. I can't get over this. Did they not check these golfers? Did they not realize that their families are getting targeted, or at least their friends? Did they just not even plan anything? I can't get over this. I have no clue what the point of this was. Was your plan to make it sound like South Africa's great, but you don't even vet the two? In fact, they hurt your case even more on, like, national TV? I'm just shocked that they can't even get that right. But the point is, this was an excellent meeting by President Trump. This was a masterclass how to deal with bozos like this. They lie, they make stuff up and claim there's nothing wrong here. But then, even their own witnesses are, you know, their proof of nothing wrong happening, they admit that, yeah, my dad's friends are all dead. They're all dead, their farms are getting burnt. Wow. This was an optics disaster, not just for South Africa, but for the left, because they were claiming, oh, no, there's nothing wrong here. But then even the president's own people, they're admitting it. It was an optics disaster for them and a big win for Trump, because he demonstrated his point. He said, see, This is what's happening in South Africa. But Democrats don't know how to shut up. Instead of realizing that, oh crap, we made a big mistake trying to triple down on this stuff, they're just tripling down even more. They're just saying, oh, it's a conspiracy by Trump. It's all baseless claims. He's a racist for allowing white people in America. Huh? That's your plan? To triple down on the same crap that just got debunked 10 minutes ago? Gee, I wonder why you're losing. I mean, at least pretend to be concerned. Just say, oh, there's a big problem here. We gotta talk about this. We gotta deal with it. They're not even trying. They're just saying it's all a conspiracy. All a grand conspiracy by Trump. And they're attacking him for it, which they're basically banking on every single person in America to keep their eyes shut and don't listen to anything. That's what they're banking on. Because if anyone just pays attention for 5 seconds, they're gonna realize that, yeah, this is a big problem. You're attacking these refugees because they're white? Really? I thought your party loved refugees, but the second that they're white, it's a problem? At least be consistent. If you were at least halfway consistent and say, okay, these are refugees, whatever. It doesn't matter if they're white or not, they should be allowed in. If you said that, you would have gotten off of this without any problems. But now it's just an optics disaster. Now everything you say about it, it looks dumber by the second. And the mainstream media, they're not helping you whatsoever. In fact, they're hurting your cause even more. So yeah, that's the state of the left, and this was just a masterclass by Trump. This was Trump at his absolute best, and he should do more of this. Anytime there's a stupid controversy, just do the same thing. Have a meeting at the Oval Office, and have the media do something really stupid, and then dunk on somebody. Just say, oh, you're a dumbass. You're an idiot, and by the way, I got the receipts right here of everything I said being true. That's all he has to do, and I think it's just good messaging. While Democrats, anything Trump does, they oppose. He can say the sky is blue, and they're going to say, no, the sky is actually orange. Just wow. Wow, wow, wow. But the point is, what made it worse was this delegation from South Africa, they either were incompetent or they didn't care. That's what made it so much worse. They didn't even try. They tried to be smug about it and pretend that everything's fine. But Trump just said, no, you're full of crap. We have the video evidence right here. The video evidence is right here, and you're lying. So we'll see what happens. I don't think this is going to move the needle that much. It just continues to make Democrats look insane that this is the hill they're going to die on. Every week there's something new, whether it's the migrant in El Salvador, whether it's inflation, whether it's the stock market crashing by 1%. Every week they find something new, bank everything on it, and then it blows up in their face horribly. It makes things even worse. And then the next week, they do the same thing with something even dumber. I just can't get over this. This whole meeting was such a disaster and a big win for President Trump, and I hope he keeps it up. Keep up the pressure on South Africa. Tell them this gotta stop, or else we're not going to support you. And in fact, we're going to have more refugees. We're going to accept more refugees from your country. If you're going to play this game, we're going to help them because you're clearly not helping them whatsoever. I think that's a good thing. Anyone with a brain should support this because it doesn't matter if you call it a genocide or not. It's still awful what's happening to these people just because of their skin color. It is utter insanity. So, hoping President Trump keeps it up. And anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.